Hey guys, Scott here. Today I want to update you on my progress with learning Hillbilly. It's been the killer I've put off learning pretty much since I started playing the game, considering, in my opinion, he is the hardest killer to actually play. And to play well and to master him takes a very long time, longer than Huntress, Blight, all that. I think it's legit the hardest thing in the game to actually learn. But I decided with these changes, I'd finally go ahead and do it. And it's been awful. I have basically hated it. And the sad part is it has nothing to do with Hillbilly. Hillbilly himself is awesome and really fun and strong, and I actually want to keep learning him. The problem is, for some reason, survivors just keep using indoor map offerings, and if they don't, even if I use a sacrificial ward, I just keep getting indoor maps. It's been so discouraging that I actually don't want to play Hillbilly anymore. Yay, more indoor maps for Billy. I didn't want to even slightly move. Also, not get indoor maps challenge impossible. I keep the kittens fed? Oh, good. My first match is 0 fun. God bless. Ah! God! I feel like I'm just done with Billy. Every game, every time I play Hillbilly, I just get an indoor map now. I don't even get to play Hillbilly anymore. Like, I'm so done. I'm so fucking done with it, dude. I just don't want to play Billy anymore. I think my last stream, like 7 out of 9 of my maps were indoor maps. And I was like, well, I don't even get to play the game anymore. So I just got so discouraged. And the thing is, it's combined with the fact that right now, a lot of survivors are getting tired of seeing Billy because it's a new change. Everyone wants to play Billy now. And it's just like, the Wesker effect, because the thing is so fun. Everyone wants to play them. And because of that, everyone's also bored of them at the same time on the survivor side because it's all they're getting. Allegedly, anyway. That's what they're saying. I've been playing pretty much exclusively killer, so I can't comment on the other side. But that's, I guess, the line of logic that they've been going with. Now, because of that, because survivors know that they're going to be going against Billy pretty often, they keep burning indoor map offerings, RPD and Hawkins and just Larry's and stuff that's just miserable to play Hillbilly on. And that's just what's happening to me. So I've actually started running sacrificial wards like every single game. But then even when I run the sacrificial ward, I still get indoor maps anyway. And if you get as many indoor maps as I've gotten, you can understand why I don't want to play Billy anymore. I don't know if I just got monumentally unlucky with survivors burning the offerings, and even when they don't, I just get the map anyway. But I find Billy to be nearly unplayable on almost every indoor map. I would say the game, if you have low pro, is actually kind of fun, but you need that specific add-on. And there's like 1 or 2 rooms on Midwich where you can actually curve around the loop, and it's actually not as bad. Actually, Midwich is probably the least offensive indoor map. I still hate it, but it's the least offensive. That's, of course, the one I got the least as much, as often. So, other than that, though, like just Larry's and RPD and Hawkins, you don't even get to play the game. You just run around and hit people with your mallet. It's just so boring. And I just found myself getting super salty and discouraged that I didn't get to actually play the killer that I'm super excited to play. So, it's like everything but Hillbilly is making me not want to play Hillbilly anymore. This is actually the main reason a long time ago I stopped playing Huntress. A lot of people ask why I just stopped maining that killer after like a couple years, and it's not because the Huntress changed at all. Huntress is the exact same. It's just the maps, they just kept adding more claustrophobic and or indoor maps that became worse and worse for the killer. It's not like the Huntress became worse, it's the game around her became less conducive to easy Huntress play, and because of that, I started getting frustrated. It used to be a 1 in 8 chance of getting an unplayable Huntress map. Then it was a 1 in 7, and now it's 1 in 6 and 1 in 5, and now it's like a 25% chance that the map you get is just going to be terrible for Huntress. And it seems like that's the case with Billy now. Even if you don't have an indoor map, though, there are still maps that are so terrible for every killer that it still feels bad on Billy, too. Like, for example, Bad in Preschool is not an indoor map, but it's effectively an indoor map because all of the major generators are inside god structures that have insane defenses around them. So you can actually have the underground area with the school, which is extremely hard to hit chainsaws in. Then you can have the 2-story building, extremely hard to hit saws in. Then you can have the basement building, which is very hard to hit saws in. Like, it's effectively an indoor map. Like, that's sort of what I'm getting at, that although it's not literally indoors, the gameplay is mostly indoors. And it's also like Haddonfield as well. Haddonfield, getting around the map as Billy is easy. You go down the street like a car, and it's very, very fast. But once you're actually in the buildings, there's so much shit in the way, you can't really situate yourself to actually get a saw in there. So what you have to do is hope you have Bamboozle, vault one of the windows, and then chainsaw them before they get around the house again. So all these setups either require like low pro or Bamboozle or something there's some requirement to have fun a lot of the time. And I don't like killers that if you get a certain map or a certain setup, you're just like, yes, I lose. Like, there's nothing worse in this game. There's no worse feeling in Dead by Daylight than a map loading and then you just, in your brain, you just go, I lose. Like, there's no worse feeling than knowing you lose by default. And Billy has a lot of those maps. It's why my favorite killer in the game is Wraith, because Wraith doesn't really have any bad maps. You could say like Borgo and like Blood Lodge because they're wide open fields. That's about it. Other than that, there's pretty much no bad maps for Wraith, and that's why it feels great to play Wraith, because I'm never really stressed when I do go and play Wraith. But when I play killers like Hillbilly, man, it's just, it seems all I get is indoor maps. So the game itself is discouraging me. Survivor players with their map offerings are discouraging me. Billy is not discouraging me at all. I love the killer, but I keep getting maps where I don't get to physically play the killer, and I don't know how to deal with that emotionally.